In today's video, I'll be going over the Legendary Essentials from EX03 Battle Spirits. So, Battle Spirits released very recently, though at the time of this recording we actually are already on Heroic Masquerade. Unfortunately, there was just too much stuff I had to get out, so this is the earliest chance I've been able to get to this. So sorry that it's a little late, kind of butting into the Heroic Masquerade coverage. Don't worry, set reviews, Legendary Essentials, Heroic Masquerade will be coming in the next week or so, hopefully, maybe 2 weeks. And then obviously loads of gameplay and stuff will be coming soon as well. Obviously this isn't relevant if you're watching this after the fact, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the set review, with the legendaries rather. So there are 10 legendaries in the set. And here's the first one, the Dino Deity Gundinos. Cost reduction red blue. When attacking, if you have a red mana, destroy one of your opponent's minions with 400 BP or lower. If you do, draw one card. And if you have 2 blue mana or more, you can put one of your forces in the rest state. If you do, this minion enters the active state. So the problem with this is in red, it's just a bad Seaguam Nova. Like I would always rather have a Seaguam Nova. In blue, you could just splash this in pure blue, and you just get a multi-attacker, which is definitely potentially quite decent, but again, there are much better multi-attackers available in blue, for example, Alexander, who we will talk about in a little bit. So, and then in a red-blue deck, this could potentially be quite good. Getting both those abilities off multiple times is pretty strong, especially if you can get it out early. The issue is there is no red-blue deck in existence right now. So I would rate this a 2-star card that will, I think, see play one day when red and blue becomes a viable combination. And then you'll just probably see this splashed in because it's a nice option. Next, the Kylan Starbeast Rian. Cost reduction yellow. This is a 2-cost, 2/1, and this minion can receive a boost from a minion belonging to the Brave class while ignoring any required conditions. This is a bit of a weird one. Okay, right out the gate, in the current builds of yellow, 5 stars. This is an absolute staple. You run this. It becomes a 1-cost, which means you can spam the board really easily, but it's also a 2-cost, which means you can revive them with Hydrandia, and it synergizes with all the 2-cost stuff as well. In addition, the ability to just receive a boost from anything can actually be quite powerful. Depending on the Brave boost you give it, it can fulfill some nice utility. Of course, you know, it is quite small, so there's only so much you can do with that, but it can be nice. So yeah, the problem with it is, obviously, is this card essential in yellow going into the future? There's a strong argument for yes. Cost reduction yellow on a 2-drop means that this is basically going to be always going to be a 1-drop after the first turn, as long as you're playing like some sort of mono yellow kind of thing, which means that early in the game you can just spam the board with a couple of these, or just drop them and you know, build up a board. The downside is, of course, you know, how valuable is that going to be in future builds of yellow? What we've seen already is the game is more than capable of not needing you to run cost reduction stuff. With the mask decks that we're seeing right now, a lot of them don't really give a shit about cost reduction. They just do their own thing. So, I don't know. I think right now this is a strong 5-star, and if you want to play yellow, this is completely stable. Going into the future, I'm going to say 3 to 4-star. But right now, 5-star, 100%. The Magical Empress Ambrosius. Cost reduction yellow. Whenever you or your opponent uses a magic card, this minion enters the active state. And on your opponent's turn, if your opponent's minion deals DP damage to your life, retrieve 1 yellow magic card from your trash and return it to your hand. So, obviously, if you boost this with the white Brave, I forgot the name of it, Bison, I think, then this can't be destroyed. In some matchups, this is crazy strong, like really hard to deal with. In other matchups, they won't care. This card will not even remotely be a threat, like, for example, blue just don't care about this. So this is just a card that's going to, you know, depending on what is the best deck, that will kind of depend on how good it is. So yeah, I mean it's a strong card. There's a strong effects. I'm gonna say this is a solid 3 stars. You know, it's pretty good. Nothing crazy, but it's pretty good. Then we've got the Magical Princess Deity Geraldi, construction yellow purple. If this minion returns to your hand from the trash, put it on the field. And when attacking, you can banish 1 yellow or neutral card in your trash. If you do, deal 400 BP to one of your opponent's minions. The issue here is just a lack of synergy, really, with a lot of stuff that gets stuff back from drop, which makes it really hard to use. So this is like a 1-star card right now. It's just not usable. But in the future, I think it could be. The Star Knight Hercules Omega. Swoop, construction green. Passive, this minion enters the active state whenever a minion of yours with swoop, the swoop effect is summoned. So the thing about this card is it's just really, really generic, and you can kind of just splash it. You don't have to, but you also just can. And I don't think anyone would hold it against you for just splashing this in 2 copies, you know, 2, 3 copies, you can just run it. It's just nice. It's not super crazy good, but it is, again, it's just a nice option. Later on in the game, you can just drop it down, like, you know, for 2 or 3 cost, can defend you, can help you, like, you know, quite valuable in the current mask format, you know, being able to block their transformer so they don't start like running a whole train on you, basically. This is pretty good. I'd say 4 stars. I'd say it's a pretty strong card. I think it's good. I'm a fan. The Hollow Providence Hoga. Construction green. On your turn, whenever this minion is blocked, put 3 of your opponent's minions in the rest state, and when attacking you can destroy 1 core that's in your base if you this minion enters the active state. So, in a vacuum, this would probably be a 4-star card, but with the context of tree existing, then this is like a 3-star card. You can build this deck, it's just worse tree is the unfortunate truth. So yeah, 2 to 3 stars on this. The Giant Emperor Alexander. Construction blue. On your turn, whenever one of your opponent's minions is destroyed, your opponent must discard a number of cards on top of the deck equal to the cost of that minion. This effect cannot stack, and when attacking, you can put 1 of your forces in the rest state. If you do, destroy 1 of your opponent's minions with a cost of 3 or lower, and this minion enters the active state. So, for Blue Mill, absolute 5-star card. Like, this is tied best card in Blue Mill, in my opinion. It's really, really, really strong. Really, really threatening. You know, the multi-attacking can help you just close out a game. I think it's really good. In other blue decks, it's not really very usable. But the thing is, I see Blue Mill hanging around for quite a while. I don't see that deck disappearing for a good while. Even if it, you know, drops out of the top, like, top tier as it is right now, I see it hanging around in tier 1, even tier 2 for a very, very, very long time. So yeah, 5 stars. The Chaos Emperor Other Thoth. Construction blue. When summoned, destroy 1 of your opponent's minions with 1 DP or lower for every minion on your field with 2 DP or higher. When attacking, if this minion has received a boost, your opponent cannot use cards with a cost of 5 or higher from their hand for the duration of this battle. This is a very, very, very strong 1-star card. It's fucking garbage. Like, this sucks so badly. It's just not good. It's just not good in any. There is no possible universe, circumstance, anything where I see this card being good. At best, it's a mediocre thing you build a whole deck around. At best, it's a no from me. The Doom Knight Lord Ragnarok. Cost reduction white green. When summoned, if you have 2 green mana or more, put 5 of your opponent's minions in the rest state. If you have 2 white mana or more, put 3 cores in your base in the rest state. When attacking and when blocking, select 1 of your minions belonging to the Battle Spirit class, the cost of 8 or lower to enter the active state. I really like this card. I'm going to say this is a 4-star card. It is just waiting for that green white deck to show up. As it is, you could just splash this in green if you wanted to, and just slap it down, board rest. Not really much reason to, because Tentacle Tangle exists, but you could do that. I think it is just waiting for that white-green deck to exist. I think it's a very, very cool card. Maybe 4 stars is a little bit too generous. We'll say 3 stars. This is a 3-star card. That is my final answer. And finally, the Heavenly Demon God Godsex. Cost reduction red, white, purple. Passive, this minion cannot be selected as a target for your opponent's magic cards, and passive, if you have mana of 3 or more different colours in your base, your opponent's minions cannot enter the active state. I'm a bit biased here, because I think this is one of the most fun cards to play in the game when you're building a deck around it. It's just really, really fun. But how good is this card? You have to build a deck around it. But when you do build your deck around it, 5 stars. It's really powerful, and it's very, very difficult to do anything about. Yeah, objectively, it's probably 4 stars. It's not as staple as other cards I've given a 5-star rating to, so I do have to give it 4 stars objectively. But personally, this is a 5-star card for me. This is super, super fun, and I highly recommend everyone gives a Godsex deck a go. So, that's it. That is the review. I hope you guys enjoy this video today. If you do, drop a like, please sub to the channel, hit the red button, check the links in the description for Discords and all that kind of stuff. And I really, really appreciate you watching. Comment your thoughts on any of the ratings, any content you'd like me to make, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Cheers.